Hello, everybody. Wanted to share something with everyone that I came across this week involving cryptocurrency and what looks to be a new fangled type of scam that's going around. Maybe this has been around, it seems like, for the past few months. I haven't seen too much about it on the internet. I embarrassingly kind of fell for it to a certain extent at first, and it took me a little bit before I figured out what was going on. And then, it's it's one of those things. Uh, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. Really, we should modify that saying when it comes to cryptocurrency. If it's too good to be true, it's not true. Um, I mean, there's everybody's looking for a get rich quick scheme, and I think when it comes down to it, whether a lot of us like to admit it or not, that's really what we're looking for in cryptocurrency. And these scammers, of course, that's what they're playing on. Is your innate desire for that. And anyways, so let me talk about what I found here. What you can see is, oh, and I've got my address bar hidden, but so this is a website which looks at first to be, yeah, which looks at first to be, if you're not looking really closely, it looks like a legitimate cryptocurrency exchange. Uh, how did I come across this website? Well, I was on Twitter and I received a notification that someone had shared with me a link to a Telegram channel. And here is the Telegram channel. Look at all this crap I have open at the bottom. There's my Monero wallet. Where is the Telegram channel? I had it right here. I'm sorry. This is taking me way too long. Here we are. Pump Signals by Chris. And so at first, so we go and look at this. Now, this was shared with me by someone else who was obviously a cryptocurrency enthusiast on Twitter, that I was either following, and after going back, after getting it initially, and then going back and looking later, I saw that the notification for it was gone, so like the message was deleted, um, which is either a red flag or is, at the time we're thinking, oh, your optimistic side of your brain is thinking, oh, they shared it with me, but they don't want any record of them sharing it because, this is kind of sketchy. I don't know, like in a good way. In any case, so it was shared with me on Twitter, and, you first look at it and you're like, maybe I'm a little skeptical, which I was, of course. Like, you should always be skeptical. I should have been a lot more skeptical than I was. But so you go and look at this, and it's like, oh, okay, here's this history of these posts in here saying, okay, there's going to be a pump, a cryptocurrency pump. And you have to go to this exchange, which I'd never heard of before, and buy this coin before the pump starts. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go check this out. And so you go, what's this exchange? Now, there's how many dozens or hundreds of cryptocurrency exchanges out there. So these days, it's not like it was maybe a few years ago where maybe there was just a handful and you knew what they all were if you were in cryptocurrency all the time. Now it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, another cryptocurrency exchange. There's a ton of these out there. So you go and look at this and you see, all right, well, here's, goes to this site and it's got, oh yeah, these are the current market values of everything. Here I created an account, and then you can go in and it's got, you go and look at, okay, here's the markets. Okay, I want to go trade. Oh, let's go trade Litecoin. Blah, blah, blah. All right, yeah, these are live prices. And so, like for this one, let's see, it says, okay, on March 8th, at this exact time, so that's 2 p.m. Pacific time where I am. There's the target coin. Okay, and there's going to be a pump, and you go search like, oh, ONT. All right. So you create an account, and you're like, oh, at first it was like, oh hell, I'll send $100 worth of Litecoin. Create the account, and then just like try it, see what happens. Like in the grand scheme of things, the $100 for me, for something like that, which at first glance, without really looking into it that well, as well as I should have, doesn't seem like that big of a deal. So you go and look at it, and sure enough, it like at that time, it pumped up like crazy. And then after that, the second time, I transferred more money, and not like a ton more, but it was like $800, and I actually made a video of me doing this. Now I wasn't going to upload this because, well, I wasn't sure what to think at the time, but here in the video, you can see me reacting to this other coin that they announced as ATM, and it was like, oh, look at this, it's pumping. It was like I bought for like $2.63, and there was, oh, it's pumping to $6, and they're like, oh yeah, it'll be a 250% gain, and you're like, holy shit. There it goes. It's going up to 650, and ultimately it goes up to like, once it hits like 7 something, and then they actually send you something in here. They time it. They say, okay, you see, like, where's the ATM one? I mean, this is really pretty elaborate. Here we go. ATM. Here's the scheme. And then they put, oh, here's all these private messages we got back about how great it was and how much money I made. And then, yeah. Let's see. Here's the pump started. And then at the time when it hit like $7.50 or whatever, well, $7.99. Sell. I did it like slightly before that because I was paranoid. And then you sell it, and then you go back and look at your balance, and like, holy shit, I just made like, yeah, here we go. Oh, I just made $10,000. What? That was after, I'd done this a couple of times with all this money in there that you play with. Now the thing is that it wasn't until a while later that I actually tried withdrawing some of that money and was told, oh, well, you have a basic level account, a beginner's account, and so you're only allowed to withdraw like $100 worth of crypto at a time. And even then, it was like it was giving me an error. And so because you're like, oh, this is a pump and dump kind of thing, I think also the fact that you're like, well, maybe this isn't 100% moral, which, honestly, it's probably not. But, you go out there and search for stuff like this, which I did. I spent a lot of time researching, like, how illegal is that? Because, there's like the Crypto Vigilante group and all these other groups out there that, they're proponents of certain types of cryptocurrency or whatever. They have like a group of followers with certain philosophies, anarcho-capitalists, whatever it is, but they share a common interest in certain coins. And really, it's just like that one. There's a lot of good people in those groups, but like the leaders of some of those groups, it's kind of it's just like a long-term pump and dump. And they do, to a certain extent, take advantage of their more naive members or less experienced members, and that's happened to me and other people in that group that I know of, where it's like, oh yeah, we bought into this coin, which maybe further down the road, maybe it's a totally legitimate coin, but wound up, oh yeah, man, I put $10,000 into Equilibria, and that's worth like $100 now. That was a great investment. A year and a half later, oh, here my cat wants to come join us. Come on, Punky. Okay. Yeah. He knows when I'm having conference calls or anything. Oh, you can see him in my PJs. You got me. So my point is this kind of thing, it's happening all the time. I mean, real pumps and dumps. But you go out and search for the legality of it. They're not regulated. It's not the SEC. Obviously, doesn't. Now, if this were the stock market, people would be going to jail over stuff like that. But they're not, and these things kind of happen all the time. There's probably maybe there's people out there that have benefited, just normal people with 9 to 5 jobs. Sorry, that's not even a term anymore. It's like 8 to 5. Anyways, that have done well in pump and dump things. I don't think. I mean, unless you've been doing this for a year or two and you spend a lot of time in it and you really know what to look out for, then unless you're like at that point and you've learned from a lot of bad mistakes, that's usually what it takes. I mean, you can go out and read up on stuff as much as possible. I don't know. Anyways, this getting back to this scheme here. So these people went through a lot of trouble to create this website, and this isn't the only website. So if you go back and look at this Telegram channel, you can see like these last, I don't know, however many of these pumps over all these dates, March 9th, going back. This one goes back to, these are all this xtrade-bank.com. And you can go all the way back to, I think it's like the beginning of March, end of February. But before that, it was a different site, token-trade.io. And if you can go back further, and there was more. And I actually went to the point of, and these sites are all, they look different. The other one, I went the token-trade. Let me go find it. That one, let's go find it. Token-trade.io. I got it right here. Now this is another site that looks like a legitimate, at first glance anyways, looks like a legitimate crypto exchange website. And you can sign up, log into it, blah, blah, blah. All these like risk warning, like they're trying to protect you. But this, if you go and look at the domain registration, which I've done, and I went and looked all these up and took snapshots of them. Where are my screenshots? Look at the editor. Yeah, here. This one was for, why am I not seeing it? Oh, token-trade.io. It's registered. This is the registrar, which is a company in, I think it was Taiwan or Hong Kong. But this is the same people, and if you look in here, it's registrant state province Gotland, and that's Sweden, of all places. Which, I don't know, there are a lot of scammers coming from, it's an island off the coast of Sweden that Sweden owns. That website, this website here, as well as the other one, the xtrade-bank.com. It's all the same people. Oh, this is the BT Swap. This is another one that was listed in there. So what they do, and I've seen this done before just on e-commerce websites, they've been doing this for years now, is because it's so profitable, these scammers can hire, I mean, it's like a full-on business where they, in Jamaica or Nigeria, a lot of these countries where it's big business to scam Americans and other first world country people who have money like this, where they've got a whole web team with programmers, support people, staff, fully staffed. They're paid very well for their area, and they will set up full-on websites like this to trick people into thinking that they're legitimate. and it's totally worth the effort for them. And that, with e-commerce websites, it could be anything like selling, I don't know, stuff for litter boxes, motorized litter boxes for your cat or whatever, any products. Uh, and they've got a whole purchasing system where you send your credit card information and all that stuff, and they charge you. And they've been doing that, and then after maybe they'll throw that website up. It comes up in Google searches. They get it to come up like in an advertisement. They'll pay for it to come at the top of a Google search, so people click on it, go to it, and buy things. And then after maybe that works for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months before they start getting reported as being scammers, and that site gets taken down. And then all they do is they'll go and buy another domain name. Um, as you can see, like this one's, it's the same people, but they've gone through like 3 different domain names in the past couple of months that I'm aware of. There's probably more. And they'll just redesign the site a little bit, move it to a new domain name, put it in the search results again, and they're just constantly doing this year over year. But now I think they've probably moved on from the e-commerce stuff because they've figured out that stuff like this is way more profitable. Um, I mean, if you can scam someone into sending like zero point 0.2 Bitcoin, I mean that's right now that's $4,000, and you do that a few hundred times in the course of or God forbid, who knows how much they're actually getting, but they're probably in a given week they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars easily, maybe millions. So this is it's huge. There's huge incentive for people to do this, and it's easy for them to get away with. And if they're especially if they're offshore. I mean, there's no. I mean, you can go back and you can see like in my chat window on this other site where I was like threatening them, which I didn't expect anything to come from that. I know any money that I sent to this was okay. Well, that's gone, and that's my own dumb fault for not being more careful. But you can what you can do? You can go, report fraud. You can go to all these government agencies. You can go to the domain name registrar and file complaints about those registrants. And how much good does this actually do? Probably not much. And of course, and then there's, and in doing this, let's see, where was this? Oh, yeah, so I just went to DuckDuckGo here. I know this is all really interesting, and I keep going off on other tangents, but I went to DuckDuckGo and searched report crypto scam, and this is the first thing that comes up: how to report crypto scams and recover your lost funds. Like, oh, really? I can recover my lost funds, and there's this whole website dedicated to this, and oh, solve my problem. We have now. This seems to me like it's almost a separate scam in itself. They want you, okay, solve my issue. And I kind of went through this website, report crypto scams. They want you to sign up. Okay, this says that 2 million cases successfully resolved. I probably could spend another 30 minutes in a video going over this after I've researched it for a couple of hours. I'm skeptical, to say the least, about this. But anyways, there I go again. I went off on another tangent. Anyways, so there's only so much you can do about this. Which I found consumer on there's this Federal Trade Commission website that talks about it, and it's like, oh, what to do. You can report it here, you can report it to the CFTC, you can report it to the SEC and the Internet Crime Complaint Center. What is that? It's like a virtual, complaint box that you drop something into, but does anything actually ever come of it? Do any of these agencies have any power or the capacity to do anything about this stuff? You decide. But the answer is no. I really don't think so. You can report it, but I mean, for every one of these things that people go after. I mean, if they're based in Jamaica or Nigeria or one of these other countries where this stuff is running rampant, and or I don't know how many other Southeast Asian countries or Asian countries. Um, there's really not much that can be done. And I seriously doubt you're ever getting your money back. Anybody who tells you that is selling something, if you ask me. I'm really curious to. I'm really curious to see more about this do not pay site. So anyhow, I think does that cover everything I wanted to say? Yeah. So watch out for these sites. Um, I haven't. I searched. I just like did a Google search for, and then that's the thing is you can search for these sites, and there's not going to be much information out there because come to find out, this X Trade Bank global website has only existed since March 1st, so like a few days before I came upon it, um, which is another reason why they can move from domain to domain. And same thing with the e-commerce sites that they used to have, is you can go out and search for, X-Trade, is this a scam? And you just won't find anything. That in itself is a red flag. There should be plenty of information about any exchange that you find. And when you go, okay, so let's go through this. Let's go and look at all the red flags on this website. First off, okay, so this is their main page. Okay. Oh, how nice. There's current prices. This all looks legitimate. Oh, ranking of new tokens. New tokens. That's not a new token. These aren't new tokens. Weekly star. Kava's up. Oh, that's interesting. And in this, I had traded for some Kava, and it's telling me Kava XRP. These are like ones that I had actually looked at. I wonder if they even like tailored this to me. Huh. Interesting. Um, so there's that. Okay, and you go look at beginner benefits. Okay, complete security verification. They want you to So this is the other thing I did is like an idiot. I went through the KYC verification, which includes uploading a picture of your driver's license. So I have since, which I had already done anyways. I normally, and I'd recommend this to just anybody. I'd go to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax and lock your credit accounts, and just so that nobody can take out loans in your name or do any credit inquiries in your name whatsoever. And then if you ever have to take out a loan, which I had to last week, I was looking into a loan for some solar panels for the house. Usually, and even if you forget about it, the agency, your bank, or whoever you're trying to get a loan from, they'll try to run your credit, and they'll come back to you and say, "Hey, we can't run your credit. It says that your credit is locked." And you say, "Oh, okay." And then you go to Equifax or whatever, and you can unlock it, let them run your credit score, your credit check, and then when they're done, you go back and lock it again. And that just guarantees that nobody else can do anything in your name. Outside of that, though, I mean, it is scary that I uploaded a picture of my driver's license. And now, if I really want to be extra careful, probably what I should do is go back to the DMV and see if I can get a new driver's license and driver's license number. I did read that you can do that in some states. I need to follow up and see if you can do that in California. Anyhow, so yeah, that's embarrassing. I know I'm admitting to all this stuff. I look like an idiot, right? This is what happens when you're presented with the possibility of making $10,000 overnight, and you get super excited about something. There's got to be a phrase for that. Get rich quick blind. There's got to be a more clever name for that. I'm sure somebody will come up with something. Yeah, missions. They want missions, futures bonus. They want you to go through all this stuff. So they want you to deposit 0.03 Bitcoin, which was like what, $600, to verify that you're like a real person. But at that point, like you've already sent money, but it's like, well, we need you to send this exact amount, um, which kind of sounds like, I'm trying to think of what it is, but there's a certain thing. Oh, like it's not like direct deposit, but certain things like that where a bank will say, or something online. Oh, okay, we're going to send an amount to your bank account to verify that it's working or that it's real. But then it's usually like 2 cents or something. Like, why does it have to be? See, and that should have been a red flag too. Why does it have to be like $600? That's insane. Um, But you figure, oh, well, I'm going to send it and then I'm going to use it to trade anyway. So what's the problem? And you're like so excited about making $10,000, you don't think about that. Um, what else? Frequently asked questions. How do I log into your account? Okay, now the other thing is here too, obviously, if you just go and read some of these sentences, can I delete my account? You'll find in places that the English and the grammar is not great. Same thing with the Telegram channel. So, long story short, there should be. Oh, okay. I keep going finding other things. Staking percentage, ETH staking for 7 days. Percentage up to 30%. I haven't been into staking, and I looked into it, but like months ago or many months ago, and I don't remember the return on staking ETH being 30%. And the other thing is too is ETH too, you still can't withdraw ETH that you've staked, so you should probably be aware of that before you even think of that. So all of this here is bullshit. Up to 33% on ADA. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but I don't think staking Bitcoin up to 30% return in 14 days. If that were the case, wow, that would be fantastic. All right, well, I'm coming up to half an hour on this video here. Oh, Punky, love bites. My cat loves me so much. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, I could probably keep talking about all this, but point is, I didn't see anything else about this type of cryptocurrency scam on YouTube or anywhere else, so I thought I'd put this out there. I doubt very many people will watch it. Nobody watches my videos. Nobody listens to me. I talk too much. I'm probably just not that interesting. I don't know. Maybe I should have done like my buddy Tim says for this video and been playing a video game so you guys could watch that while you're listening to me flap my gums here. But that's about it. I will leave this at that. Bye for now. Happy cryptoing. I'm at least, you know what? Am I upset about this? Let me just end by saying this. Am I upset that I lost some money here? Yes, it's upsetting. Am I going to lose sleep over it? I'm the kind of person that tends to. No matter how much my logical brain will say, well, don't worry about that. Did I lose like most of my crypto portfolio? Absolutely not. It was a fairly small percentage, but I tell myself that you know what? In my case, I could be really upset, but I still have I still have a lot of other things going for me financially. I'm starting a new job in a few days. That's going to be pretty fantastic. I really don't have to worry about any of this stuff. So in my case, did it really affect me? No, but this could really devastate a lot of other people out there, and this is the reason why a lot of people are scared to get into crypto. And should it be regulated to a certain extent? Probably. If nothing else, I mean, in this comes down to not regulating crypto so much too, but just better education of the public, I suppose, and better policing of the internet, and cooperation between countries to kind of crack down on this sort of thing. I think in which that's been an issue for since the inception of the internet, when it comes to scams. I mean, it's been going on since I remember one of my first jobs, and back in 2003, and scams that were happening on eBay with people selling fake laptops from Nigeria back then, and people paying money and sending it through PayPal and then not getting anything in the mail. So this has been going on forever, and for countries to really do anything about that, there has to be international cooperation on a grand scale. I think if that were going to happen, it would have happened by now. I also think that to a certain extent, a lot of these other countries don't really feel that sorry for Americans, who are losing some of their money like this. And, is it a travesty, especially when it's happening to seniors? I mean, this is, I'm kind of bleeding into a whole different subject. I mean, it's a related subject, but and I keep saying I'm going to end my video, but that hasn't happened yet. Uh, I don't think that people in Nigeria have much sympathy for us in the United States when our standard of living is so much higher than theirs. And here I am in my comfortable air-conditioned house that's way too big, and I've got all of these toys and all this crap that I could ever want. I've got a great job with security and retirement, a happy family, relatively safe. Our house isn't getting bombed. They're not cutting all our heads off tomorrow. Um, so does the Nigerian government have much sympathy for people like us who get scammed for a few $1,000s here and there? No. Honestly, I don't think they do. And that probably partially, if not completely, explains why nothing has been done about it and why this kind of thing is allowed to go on. And what can the U.S. government do about it? I don't know. That's a whole other discussion. I would think if something could have been done, it would have been done by now. And is it going to get any better? I'm very skeptical. Anyway, I will honestly leave it at that. I'm running at 33 minutes. This has been a long video. Nobody likes to watch these super long videos like this. It is Friday, March 10th. I hope y'all have a great weekend and enjoy the Oscars on Sunday if that's their kind of thing. All these people in Hollywood patting themselves on the back, as my old boss used to say. That's it. Ta-ta for now.